computer question for anybody. I don't know. A couple times recently, I've had, when I turn on my computer, when I go in to put in the password, it says it wouldn't take it. And gave you some options to proceed. And what I just did was ignored the options and just rebooted the system. And when it rebooted, it was no problem. Has anybody else had that? I'm wondering if, I've never had it happen before. And there's been a bunch of Microsoft updates recently. I'm wondering if it's a new feature.
Was that on Windows? That was a Windows?
Yeah,
feature?
that was on Windows.
Sounds like Windows 10.
The only time I've run into problems is that sometimes I've left the cap key on and I'm putting in the password. I shouldn't have done that.
No, this it won't even take it. It's right off. My Linux system, of course, has no problem.
Has anybody tried the finger ID or the picture ID?
No.
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 I'm just wondering how good it is because I've heard stories when it was initially put into play that some people were having difficulty. It wasn't recognizing the face properly or the fingerprint properly.
Well, it's life's hard enough with the things as they are without making them more complicated.
Yeah, what happens if you cut your finger or something like that?
Well, my Samsung phone has a fingerprint sign-in. I need to swipe it and enter a password, or I can just touch the spot with my fingerprint. Mm-hmm. And 90% of the time it works, but if that finger is dirty, if I've been outside and it's got some dust or dirt on it, then it will not recognize the whorls and fingerprint.
Yeah.
You watch these movies, you know, where you have the rough and tough people there, and they go and kill somebody and they chop the guy's finger off and then have access.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Or they take the eyeball out if it's they're breaking into a facility. They need that. They read the iris, so they take the guy's eyeball out.
I know that some people got I can't remember the term that they used, but to cross the U.S.-Canada border, to go faster, they do get an eye scan. And from that, they can just go across all the time without any lineups.
That's a Nexus card.
That's a Nexus card, right.
Yeah, so they scan your eyeball, and now all you have to do, if you were in an airport, you just go up to the machine, look in the little peephole, it tells you where to look, it scans your eye and gives you your paper, and away you go. So it is pretty fast. That's on record, so.
Has it ever made a mistake?
No, it's never made a mistake. No, never made a mistake. It's worked every single time. So. And on the iPhone, like I have the finger, and what I found just from my own convenience is you can have more than one finger registered. So I register both thumbs, because sometimes the hand you're working with is dirty or greasy or whatever. Then you can flip and use your other thumb. But it also, it's funny, if your hands are swollen, like you've got them wet and they go shrivelly, that's just enough to throw that thing off, and then you got to punch the code in. But anyways, it works, like somebody said, 90%, probably 95% most of the time for me. So.
Several years ago, I was a director of an organization that dealt sometimes with children. So if you are in that type of an organization and you're a director, you have to get fingerprinted. So in Mississauga, they've got this real multi-million-dollar machine that's just out of this world. You know, it's super duper. But when it came to do my fingerprints, because all you do is put your hand on the glass that snaps the picture, done. They said that my fingerprints are so fine, the machine can't pick it up properly. So they had to go back to what you used to see in the detective stories from the 1940s and 50s. You just take your hand and you had to put it on a pad with ink on it, and your fingers are all messed up. And then you got to, put your fingerprints manually on a card in each little spot where it's the thumb, the next finger, the next finger, the next finger. And it took months for them to go through the whole process.